My name's Alan Dial. I'm the Senior Vice President of Picture and Post here at Ugly Brothers Studios. I'm primarily in charge of the way things look and sound from inception to final delivery to the networks. We've made several unscripted programs for ABC Family. We made a show called Startup U. We made a show for Spike TV called Life or Debt. We did a show for History Channel. We did a show for Comedy Central called The Comedy Jam. That was fantastic. And we did a show for Amazon Studios called Eat the World with Emeril Lagasse that won a Daytime Emmy. 2 actually for us. Nominated for 5. All of the codecs have changed. All of the resolutions have changed. The amount of VFX that go into a project has skyrocketed and is now just considered normal. Everything's become much more graphics intensive. Deliverables have increased enormously. The speed at which we need to deliver these things has increased tremendously. Projects that used to have double the amount of edit weeks, they seem like a luxury that no longer exists. It's my responsibility, as I see it, to provide a working environment to the editors that is just like seamless and invisible. You know, if they can just sit down at their edit machines and edit and basically create the art that we produce here, then go home at the end of the night, then that's the perfect place that I would like to see. Basically, the more invisible the infrastructure can become, the more I feel like I'm doing my job. I think the needs of production companies in television are basically the same across the board. The infrastructure requirements are essentially the same. Like, we all need to deliver content and we all need to do that quickly. Ugly Brothers' take on how to implement that infrastructure is unique. You know, I want the ability to walk into any bay and access any project and stream the content from that project to the user, and I don't ever want it to feel different from one room to another, you know. I want to be able to access all of my media at any given moment with like permissions appropriate to the person who's accessing it, and I want that to be delivered consistently throughout the facility. If you want to increase value as a company, and if you want to have more control over the creative that you're putting together, then it just makes sense to build your own infrastructures. All of a sudden now comes into question, like, what type of infrastructure do you want to build, and what specifically are you building for? These questions didn't used to exist, really. You would have a project, you would call your rental company, figure out what it is that you needed installed, get that installed, use it, and give it all back when you were done. Now we need to build something that can like maintain a value over a period of time and not force like aging equipment on like your artists, right? How to keep something that I build now relevant in 3 to 5 years, you know, that becomes much more of a desire now than ever existed before.